The culmination of the SEC litigation against Ripple is near. Everyone is left wondering who has a better chance of winning the lawsuit in light of the predictions and observations of significant persons like John Deaton. I'm going to take you down memory lane and go through some really meaty thoughts. Keep watching to find out the rest. If this is something that interests you, I highly recommend watching this brand new video right now. Welcome to our channel, where we discuss recent developments involving XRP and the cryptocurrency industry at large. We'd like to extend a warm welcome to everybody who is checking out one of our videos for the first time. As a setback to its efforts to regulate cryptocurrency markets, a recent court ruling involving Ripple Labs will be appealed by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. After U.S. District Judge Annalisa Torres of Manhattan ruled on July 13 that the sale of Ripple's XRP digital token on public exchanges was in compliance with federal securities laws, the SEC wrote to the court on Wednesday asking for a review by a federal appeals court. The SEC noted that there was substantial ground for differences of opinion on several legal issues, which might be addressed in an appeal. It also claimed that its ability to enforce securities laws and a plethora of other lawsuits were directly tied to the outcome of an appeal. For a long time, the SEC has maintained that it has the authority to regulate digital assets like Bitcoin or securities like stocks and bonds. In December of 2020, it filed a lawsuit against Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, and Chris Larsen, co-founder and chairman of Ripple, alleging them of conducting an unregistered securities offering to raise over $1.3 billion through the sale of XRP. According to Toria, selling the XRP coin on public exchanges did not violate any laws because buyers could not have reasonably expected to make a profit as a result of Ripple's actions. But in the same court 18 days later, U.S. District Judge Jed Rakoff decided in the opposite direction, saying that Terraform Labs' Terra USD token was a security because it was being sold on public markets. Ripple did not come out of this ruling unscathed, however, since tourists concluded that the sale of XRP to institutional investors constituted a violation of securities laws. The SEC wants to appeal the judge's judgment, so she has to determine whether or not to allow that. Requests for feedback from Ripple and attorneys for Ripple Garlinghouse and Larsen were met with silence. Under Gary Gensler's leadership, the SEC has filed over 100 cryptocurrency-related enforcement proceedings. Settlements were reached in numerous cases. Gensler has also worked to curb Bitcoin speculative excesses, which he claims damage investor confidence in American financial markets. Coinbase, the largest cryptocurrency platform in the United States, is being sued by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, for allegedly doing illegal business because it failed to register as an exchange. Nance, the largest Bitcoin platform in the world, is also being sued by the SEC. Remember too that famous lawyer John Deaton is feeling confident about the outcome of his client Ripple's ongoing legal struggle with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Deaton, the creator of crypto law, is a big fan of Ripple and thinks the SEC has less than a 3% chance of winning in court. In light of the increasing likelihood of a positive outcome for Ripple in the protracted dispute, Deaton expressed optimism about the company's chances of success. In December of 2020, the SEC filed a lawsuit against Ripple, claiming that the issuance of XRP tokens constituted an unregistered securities offering. Deaton's view of the issue was optimistic for the cryptocurrency firm, and his support for Ripple led him to question the SEC's accusations. Deaton predicted in a recent episode of the Good Morning Crypto podcast on June 3 that U.S. District Judge Torres would rule in favor of Ripple and gave a higher probability, 50%, for splitting the baby ruling in which both parties find some level of victory. When people talk about splitting the baby, they're referring to the possibility that Judge Torres would draw a line in the sand and rule that XRP was sold as an unregistered security prior to 2018. After reaching a certain level of decentralization, cryptocurrencies may be able to make the switch from securities to commodities, as suggested by recent revelations surrounding the Hinman documents, which contain internal SEC messages regarding a speech by former SEC Director William Hinman in 2018. According to Deacon, secondary market transactions are evidence of dedication, and he believes XRP will eventually be classified as not a security. Even if Judge Torres rules that Ripple did break the law, that won't affect transactions on the secondary market. A ruling from the visiting judges is something he anticipates happening before September 30th. A fascinating facet of the judicial system was highlighted, but the 6-month list that district judges must file with Congress was left out of the discussion. All summary judgments that have been pending for longer than 6 months are included on this list. By virtue of being omitted from this selection, Deaton makes light of the fact that Judge Torres may face public scrutiny by implying that he or she has avoided inclusion on a public shame list. Deaton not only predicted how the litigation would turn out, but also how the price of Ripple's native XRP coin may develop if the cryptocurrency was vindicated. He stated his opinion that the XRP coin should be valued between $2 and $10. Predictions and views of significant persons, like his John Deaton, provide valuable insights into the possible outcome of the litigation between Ripple and the SEC as it nears its culmination. Ripple and its backers continue to have faith that the outcome of this court struggle will be beneficial to the cryptocurrency company and have a favorable effect on the value of XRP tokens on the market. The Bitcoin industry is waiting with bated breath for the outcome of this high-stakes court fight, so only time will tell if Dean's forecasts are right. The topic of whether or not the SEC is the favorite to win today's big game has finally arrived. Don't miss out on being the first to know what's going on with XRP. Subscribe to our channel and enable push notifications now. When blockchain startups were operating with no governmental oversight, the SEC versus Ripple case sent shockwaves across the cryptocurrency business. This was the most publicized case of a securities regulator going after an ICO to date, so concerns about future regulation are understandable. Each side achieved some measure of success. The ruling affirms the position that cryptocurrency transactions on exchanges, but not securities transactions, are not subject to regulation, giving the SEC control over sales to institutions. Remember that it used to be normal practice for cryptocurrency startups to pay for their teams and operations using token sales, with CEOs receiving additional funding in cash. According to the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, Ripple never submitted the necessary registration form to begin trading on the stock market. In the case, the regulator claimed that Ripple had created a vacuum of information by only sharing what it deemed to be essential. The basic line is that the outcome of the SEC versus Ripple litigation still has the potential to alter the regulatory landscape for the whole cryptocurrency industry if it chooses to appeal the verdict. By filing lawsuits against companies that sell cryptocurrency as investment contracts, the SEC is clearly protecting the interests of ordinary investors. The future of accusations against Bitcoin companies and the final outcome of the verdict itself remain unclear. This video has already concluded. Please subscribe and like the video if you found it entertaining. See you in the next one. Bye.